But I see that innate ability, whether regardless of your economic circumstances, it's something within you. You either have it or you don't.
Mm.
You have to have that drive to succeed no matter what, and you pivot quickly. Um, but you also have to have a little bit of craziness about you that can withstand the, uh, the tribulations that come with being a business owner. You have to have that crazy belief in yourself that no matter what, I'm getting through it.
Craft Your Life is a radio show for the tenacious, the bold, and those who refuse to settle for mediocrity. We bring together visionaries, game changers, and relentless go-getters who are crafting their lives, businesses, and relations in pursuit of excellence. If you are ready to shatter limits, embrace the amazing, and live life on your own terms, this show is for you. Each episode delivers actionable insights, inspiring stories, and unfiltered conversations that will ignite your drive to win a life worth dying for. Tune in and get ready to live viciously. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Craft Your Life radio show. I'm your host, Matt Kuehlhorn. Today on the Craft Your Life radio show, we welcome Katie Davis, a powerhouse business and real estate broker right here in Grand Junction. Katie leads the GSD Broker Team, bringing over 2 decades of executive experience guiding multi-million-dollar organizations. She's not just closing deals, she's building relationships, leading with integrity, and shaping the future of Grand Junction real estate. Katie's earned top honors year after year, from Best of the West Gold Commercial Broker to #1 in transaction volume across Mesa County, and now steps in as incoming president of the Grand Junction Realtor Association. Katie Davis is proof that when you blend business acumen, community leadership, and relentless drive, you truly craft your life. Katie, I'm really excited for our conversation today. Thanks for joining.
Thank you, Matt. Thank you for inviting me. I'm excited to speak with you.
Yeah. I didn't ask you prior to hitting record, where are you beaming in from?
I am from my office in the Bank of Colorado on the 3rd floor off Patterson.
Awesome. Right on. One of my favorite questions to ask guests off the cuff is, where did you grow up? Are you a GJ local?
I am not. I'm a
Right on.
transplant.
Yeah.
I was born and raised in Farmington, New Mexico.
Okay.
And I came to Grand Junction during the boom of '08 for oil and gas and fell in love with the area and stayed.
Love it. What was Farmington like growing up? What were you into?
Farmington's at that time is an oil and gas town. That's how
Okay.
I got my start in oil and gas. I've got a lot of fond memories there. Um, and with any oil and gas town, the booms were great and the busts were rough.
What All right, I do have lots of questions, just because I'm so curious. I mean, I have a very peripheral understanding of the extraction economy, just being out in mountain towns, for the last 3 decades. I understand the boom bust cycle, and I can see it even in some real estate. Like, we have boom
Yeah.
busts in real estate, and we have I could see the difference between a coal town and a silver town. Like, the buildings are different. But do you have other, like, what goes into the boom and busts? I mean, is it just commodity trading and technology? Like, what happens there?
What happens is it's that old analogy of supply and demand will determine. So, uh, a lot of companies look at what the median price is, the break even point, and they'll factor in the costs on the state level and then the federal level. And if it makes sense, depending profit wise, then they'll go in and then you see the boom cycle. As it starts to bust, we have an oversupply like what Grand Junction and surrounding areas felt in natural gas, and we're still dealing with it. There's still a surplus over demand. And so it doesn't make sense for them to, on a state and a federal level, to continue to operate out of here like they once were in '08.
Interesting. I will preface this for listeners. I do want to get into talking about business and mental health, but I'm already just really curious about this extraction economy. So I'm gonna ask you a few more questions there. I mean,
Oh, go ahead.
you came up in the '07, '08 boom of GJ, and then what I know is that at some point there was that bust, and
Mhm,
I feel like Grand Junction is coming out of the depression from that bust. Is
mhm.
that true? Like, would you relate to that? And
That is true. Luckily for Grand Junction, they were able to move, quickly in my terms. It might not feel quickly when we're looking at a 20-year cycle, but they were able to diversify and bring other trades into the town that has allowed it to become what it is today with the growth and, being on the real estate side, both commercially and residentially, seeing the different people wanting to migrate here for the lifestyle.
yeah,
That was an important move from the county and the city. But yes, it can have devastating effects when you're in a boom and money's flourishing and people are living well from grocery stores all the way to real estate and everything in between. And then when it leaves, because it's pretty much becomes a ghost town, people pack their bags and they go to the next boom town. And so it
yes.
does have devastating consequences to a community because most oil and gas people, they'll migrate where the money is. They usually don't stay in a community. They're here temporarily and then they're gone.
Hmm, fascinating. So GJ was relatively good on pivoting. How would you
Yes.
define our current economic fabric?
I think lifestyle has a lot to do, with we're starting to become, at least from what I'm seeing in statistics and clientele, we're becoming an aging population where we're becoming desirable
Hmm.
for retirees. On the business side, we are starting to be seen because to us commercial is expensive, but to an outside party from a different area, we're very reasonable. And if we can get our planning and developing for commercial in check, we'll see a significant increase in commercial development here.
Yeah, I think it's pretty interesting. As I was learning more and more about Grand Junction, what I look is the economics have some good, strong fundamentals. I mean, you mentioned the aging population. We have a good, solid health industry kind of
We do.
being the hub between Salt Lake and Denver. There's some manufacturing, there's some tech, there's
Mhm.
certainly the outdoor recreation. Um, I've started calling Grand Junction the Mediterranean of Colorado, like
We are. Yeah,
the lifestyle
that's
of
a
that.
good way to describe it.
It's so funny. Um, that's that's cool. Yeah, that kind of stuff fascinates me. And so the bust happened. How did you pivot? Where did you go from? I mean, you were running some big operations in the oil gas.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, I changed directions of the company to not be, boom focused. So our strategy shifted. Luckily, what I specialized in was automation, our company.
Hmm.
So anything that automates the well pad from computers to solar panels to well devices, anything automation related is what we did. And I pivoted our company to place more of an emphasis on a bust economy versus a boom economy. It was a strategy put in place because it allowed us getting into companies when most people left, and it allowed us to, be able to service those oil and gas companies, and then when the boom hit, so we structured ourselves to operate very lean. So we could still make money, offer products that, would be affordable to the oil and gas companies and services, and then when the boom hit, we were already entrenched, had the relationships established, had the infrastructure in place.
Love that. What were the defining? Well, let me put this in context, and we'll start getting into like, okay, what are some of the components that really go into crafting. And I look at a little bit of your history and a little bit about that I know about you, Katie, is like you're a driver. You have something internally that's just going to motivate you to grow, to learn, to kind of lean into some of the discomfort. You understand the art and pain, if you will, of business ownership and in building the isolation in there. Where does that come from? Was that inspired by parents, mentors? Has it always been a part of who you are? Where does
I
the
honestly think you
drive come
either
from?
have it or you don't. It's an
Mm,
innate ability, no matter you could come from so I came from a very and I've talked about this in some groups. I came from a very poor family. We had very little. We used to
mhm.
shower outside. I could go into all the stories, but I grew up very, very poor in New Mexico. Um, but I see that innate ability whether regardless of your economic circumstances, it's something within you. You either have it or you don't.
Mm.
You have to have that drive to succeed no matter what, and you pivot quickly. Um, but you also have to have a little bit of craziness about you that can withstand the, uh, the tribulations that come with being a business owner. You have to have that crazy belief in yourself that no matter what, I'm getting through it.
Yeah. I mean, it's almost I would almost put it as like suspending belief also, because there's so
Mhm.
much, for my journey is just moving through and still is just internal baggage, if you will.
Yeah.
And so
Mhm.
there's times where I just have to suspend the doubt or
Oh,
the
yeah.
insecurity and just be like, no,
Yeah.
no, no, that's going to be just over here. I'm going to go forward anyway.
Yeah.
You work with a lot of business owners these days?
I do. I work, it's I really find a passion in this new career that I've taken on. I loved my old life. I call it my old career. But all I knew was oil and gas companies. That's what I specialized in. That's what I knew.
Yeah.
Moving to this new career that I'm starting, I get to work with business owners in a variety of industries and learning about their trades. But one thing always remains the same. We all experience the same emotions, the same mental health, the same challenges. It doesn't matter what industry you're in. And it's been a nice way to help them where we can collaborate strategy wise on how we could make the company stronger, but it also helps to create a community where they know, hey, this is normal. And I speak loud and proud about it. I know a lot of business owners they shy away from it because it's seen in they feel like it could be seen in a negative context, whether it's within their companies or the community or competitors. I have no problems being that sounding board and speaking about it. Um, and I find that I get a lot of phone calls and, we discuss a lot of different things, anywhere from company structure to mental health.
Yeah, when you're referencing, like, some people having reservations about speaking about it, is that the mental health component, or is that also just opening up the books and seeing what's under the hood and
Oh, everything in between. I mean, nobody wants to talk about and I did a discussion about this earlier, but nobody wants to talk about finances and the pains that can come with the financial struggles of business. Even if you're flourishing and you're growing, you still have those financial pains. And
Yeah.
most people don't want to worry their employees. They don't want to worry their spouse. They don't want to worry their customers. So they keep it within themselves and don't discuss it, and I try to be that sounding board in that community saying, "Hey, what you're feeling is normal. You're gonna get through it."
Mm, I love that. One of the things that I think I have learned, and so I'm gonna check this with you, because I think this is to be true. You mentioned, like, the commonality is that, business is business no matter what industry, trade, size even,
Mhm.
and there's some common, uh pains or challenges that can come along with that. Uh, in my past, I've been like the shiny penny, has been so attractive.
Yeah.
And I will be in my vehicle, which is currently Cooler Garage Doors, and I'll be over here and I'll be like, all right, here's my thing. And then I'll look at somebody else's thing. Maybe they're an HVAC or, something else that has a different ticket size or whatever. And I'll be like, oh man, wouldn't that be nice? And I think that's just chatter. I think that's ultimately a myth. And
Mhm.
and I'm just kind of cross-referencing this with you because you see why, much wider data set than I do.
I will tell you, Matt, those feelings you have throughout business ownership, the highs and the lows and everything in between, everybody feels it. Every single person. Now we're great at putting up a front because that's what makes us leaders, but that
Yeah.
doesn't mean they're not experiencing the same feelings that you are. Might be at varying times, but they're going through it just like you, just like
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. What do you think the difference is between it could be the same industry or different industry, but somebody that puts together a $1 million business
Mhm.
or a $10 million business or the $100 million business or even the $1 billion business?
Hey everybody, this is Luke from Cooler Garage Doors. Just want to take a quick second to talk about our sponsor, Sommer Garage Door Openers. In our opinion, Sommers are the highest quality product on the market today. We recommend them for all of our residential garage door installs because of the variety of features they include, such as Wi-Fi connectivity and safety features such as a fixed chain, which moves along a secure rail to ensure your garage door opens quietly and safely. Click on the link in the description to learn more about Sommer Garage Door Openers.
I am probably going to say something that'll go against the
Yes, I
current
love this.
trend. Um, and I say this in my entrepreneur classes and other business owners, but the difference is there's no such thing as work-life balance. Doesn't exist.
True.
You talk to any owner, CEO, who's running and this goes with real estate too. If you've got someone that's in the 10 million, 20 million, 30 million, and the higher you go, there is no work-life balance. It is, your entire focus, your entire world revolves around your company. And, uh, and it's okay for those that have work-life balance. They'll just peak at a certain point. But the people that are high performing, running high levels, because when you start getting into the game of, um, I'll speak about I'll use my experience. When I was in the game of running an almost 70 million a year company, I had people to report to. I had a lender partner who was extremely integrated in our company, and they should be. We had a lot of money with them. I had to answer to them. I had to answer to employees. We had a company that had 30,000 inventory SKUs. I had to answer to our major manufacturers. I had customers, major production companies to answer to. And so we live in a different world. We've got the IRS, we've got audits, and so if you're getting in this game to be big, you're getting in it for the long haul, and you're going to give up a lot of personal life to be successful.
Yes. That's a super healthy answer. I love that. And I wanted to bring that forward because I know listeners and I've done this myself, like, oh, that could be nice, or wouldn't that be nice? And it's like, wait a minute. Like I have a mentor now. And I'll disclose, like I'll be turning 49 this year, and I've made it like to to this far in my journey, and I could have so many different metrics, right? And that's the thing. Like, at the end of the day, I think one of the toughest questions to answer is, what do you want? And if we put away the noise of what society wants us to be, do, have, like, that's a
Mhm.
really tough question to answer because some of us do want the $1 billion company or the $1 million company in more time. And where I'm going with all this, I've got a buddy now that, he's huge, huge, huge in the garage door space. And um, he will be the first garage door billionaire, like with a B. And the amount of pain and the amount of glass that that dude has chewed is, I can't even fathom. Like, I would never have chosen it.
It's, you live, you breathe, you eat your company when you're that level. I know a lot of business owners can relate to this, but it's very normal to wake up at 4 a.m. and start thinking about ideas that may come to mind or issues that need to be solved. I mean, that's even when we're on vacation, we're still not really on vacation. We're still thinking about the company.
It's an obsession.
Yeah, it is an obsession, and you have to be obsessed if you wanna get to that level.
Yeah. Yeah. What do you tell business owners these days that you're interacting with? I mean, how do you frame, I guess, any stress, challenge? Like, how do we get to a sense of appreciation, gratitude?
So what I do is I wake up every morning and I have my list of things that I'm grateful for,
Love this.
um, and that helps a lot. If you have to we oftentimes as people in general, we get caught staring at the trees and miss the forest. And so you almost have to rewire your brain where you don't always focus on the negative things that can happen during the day. You also have to pause and it's almost like I force myself to pause midday, end of day, and recognize the positivity that also came with the day. And we and I even take it a step further and I look back to when I started my career in real estate in 2021 to where I am now and to where I want to be. And so
Mm.
it's good to always reflect on how far you've come and recognize the positivity and not because bad things are going to happen throughout the day. And so you've got to weigh all of that out and look at it from a good perspective.
For your morning practice, do you literally write them out every morning, or do you have a list that you review and reflect and
I reflect. I don't write anything. What I do have is a notebook by my nightstand. So my
Mhm.
great ideas usually come somehow psychologically when I'm sleeping and then I wake up and I start writing everything down. That's when I usually find my breakthroughs on problems, challenges. But when it comes to daily gratitude, it's just something I process throughout the day and give thanks and appreciation to people. I'll go out of my way to reach out to them and thank them or, my teammates or just internally.
Yeah. I love that so much, and it's honestly a very, very consistent theme that bubbles up in these conversations. Like, people that are moving, that are crafting, that are really, like, taking, life into the discomfort zone, like, there's this gratitude practice that is,
Mhm.
I look at it as part of, marketing to ourselves.
Yeah, it's
Like,
important
it is. Yeah, we
because
get
we are on a
marketed to.
lonely road.
Yes. No doubt. Amazing. Um, I know one of the topics I wanted to bring up with you, because I found it so fascinating when we met a few days ago or weeks ago at this point, was around business brokering. And so for the listeners, there's going to be some folks that are building a business. Maybe they actually are building it to sell. Maybe they're just building a business. But I also think it's really important to know that a business broker is not a licensed, like, there's not a real bar to climb over and get certified in.
Yeah, that took me by surprise too, Matt.
Yeah.
When
Yeah.
when I started down this path of business brokering, um, yes, and I saw your Facebook post, and I'm glad you put it out there to start that engagement and make that awareness out there because I try to do the same. Um, yes, you have to have a license to sell real estate, but there is no license for business brokering. Anyone can say I'm a business broker, and I think that it's important for anyone that is looking or building their business or looking to sell their business in the future to partner with someone that has been there before, run a
Yeah.
company, knows, has been through the grommet of anything you can imagine. And what I find when I do business brokering with other owners, we share ideas together. So we build off each other's history to create a plan on how to go forward. I think that is the most important thing when selecting a business broker, that they have that background and that they are your partner and your ally and they understand and they can help you and you can help them become better.
Love that. There's an incredible amount of private equity flowing into garage door space right now.
Mhm.
Trades in general. I
Yeah.
think um, COVID definitely pushed a lot of it along. And with the wave of AI, folks are looking at the trades and being like, well, we're not going to have droids anytime soon. So there's going to be an increased value of systems and brands that can deliver the trades experience. My point is there's a ton of money flowing around. I think that there's maybe even a bubble. I think people get excited and,
Mhm.
folks that have been running a trade company for 2 decades are thinking that they've got an easy out kind of deal.
Mhm.
And um, what loaded question, I know, but what goes into selling a business? I guess what are important things to know? What are some myths that we can bust?
The biggest thing is make sure your books are clean. That's the very first thing that I look at. All your revenue. So some businesses and I won't name them out, but they will take cash under the table to save on taxes.
Mhm.
Um, I always tell business owners, this is going to be a 3 or 4 year run that we're going to be working together. Um, because if they had been taking cash out, they need to start capturing that cash because that's what's gonna weigh heavily into the valuation of their business, making sure
Mhm.
the books are clean, orderly. I often see a lot of times inventory, especially if they have a lot of inventory items being put into cost of goods sold. So pulling that out so that there's an asset value because that's going to affect the evaluation. And I also take it a step further and we talk. We talk about their strengths, weakness, the SWOT analysis, strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, threats.
Mhm.
And we talk about how can we take these opportunities, grow on them, and these threats and grow on those. Weaknesses, how do we change that around? And so there's a lot of times that I meet business owners and we collaborate on what we can do to improve that business and really get it ready for market.
Mm. 3 to 4 years.
Yeah. Yes.
I'll just let that land. That's a minute.
It is a bit, but, if you're heavy in debt, you've gotta plan on how do I structure myself to start whittling away at that debt. If you
Mhm.
need to rebuild your inventory system because 'cause you've been capturing it in your cost of goods sold, that has to be built. If you've had accounting where your books haven't been cleaned for a while, those have to be rebuilt and categories redone and then taxes filed again. So it can be a long process. Now you do get companies where everything's on the up and up, but maybe they're on a growth trajectory and they want to continue that for a few more years so they can get more money back on the company. There's a lot of reasons why um, it can extend out 3 to 4 years. Or you have companies like, that's it. I'm just going to sell the real estate and the assets and just walk away and be done.
Yeah. Yeah, it goes back to that question of what does the owner want
Mhm.
to be
Yeah.
able to detail that. What does it look like? Because I've yet to do this. I've started, personally just building the relationships with various brokers and
Mhm.
learning. And anytime, somebody from a PE firm calls me, I will usually take that call just
Mhm.
to learn and keep
Yeah.
learning. Right. And so, I just encourage that if there are business owners listening, like take these calls and ask questions
Mhm.
and it, and know that it doesn't need to go anywhere, but you can still extract value. I guess my question for you, Katie, is in working with a broker, you say 3 to 4 years. For somebody that's just listening to this, like explain what that engagement looks like. How does a business broker get paid? Is there consulting fees that go for that 3, 4 years? Is it just an investment for a piece of equity on the or a percentage of the sale, or how does that look?
So each one does it differently. So you could talk to a different business broker and you're gonna get a different answer. For me, I give advice for free. So that's my way, of giving back to the community and helping someone. If I've got experience or they just need a sounding board, I'm there. I usually don't get paid until the business sells. So, I mean, I'm in this for the long haul. If a business owner wants me to come in, and I've done this for a couple companies now, if they want me to come in and advise, like, where I'm actually sitting there in the grind with them, they
Mhm.
will pay me a fee. I don't charge much, but if I'm in the grind, if I'm in their office, if I'm helping their staff, if I'm guiding them and helping restructure their company, there will be a fee. And that's something that me and the owner discuss because that's the case by case on how much involvement. There was one client I had where I was on site for about 4 months and just watching the operations and collaborating with her and helping her rethink, strategize, and now she's on a growth trajectory.
Amazing. Love it. Okay, and so it's if we were to distill this down for anybody that has interest, I mean, one is um, potentially a recommendation to talk to multiple brokers, find brokers that have actually ran, built, sold
Mhm.
businesses and have
Yes.
that experience.
Yes.
Um, Clean up books so you have a clean, clear, accrual based accounting
Right.
system that is accurate
Mhm.
and doesn't have any shell shifting going on.
Right.
You're not shuffling cash under whatever. Um, and then just be in the mindset of like 3, 4 years.
Yeah.
Would that be this kind of basic
Yep.
summary?
Yeah, if you wanna capture the maximum value for your hard-earned efforts, I recommend planning it out.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. Beautiful. Katie, what are you excited for? What's coming up? What do you see in the crystal ball?
I think that as far as real estate or the business world, what are you
It's kind
thinking?
of an open question. I think
Uh,
let's start for you personally, professionally. What's on your horizon that you're excited about?
so for me, anyone that knows me, I find thrill in growing companies. I find the thrill in it for myself. I find the thrill in it for other business owners. It's just that's what I'm wired to do. That's what I love to do.
Yeah.
So, what I'm doing on the business side, I've got some big things I can't talk about yet that are coming. But I plan on uh just like I always do, I plan on changing the game on how real estate and business brokering is done. From the firm model to the actual broker themselves. And
Mhm.
so, I'm trying not to give away too much, but there's gonna be some big changes, that I'm going to start spearheading here soon.
Heard. Heard. That's exciting. I'll be watching. What about what do you think is exciting for our Grand Junction community?
We've got a lot of good things going for us. Commercial wise, we're getting a lot of, as you had mentioned, medical providers looking at our area. And a lot of that has to do with our population and the shift that's happening in the population. But we also have companies like distribution centers that are looking our direction for hubs because we are inexpensive to operate. Um, my biggest wish is that at some point we become commercially speaking, we become more developmentally friendly
Mm.
and allow these other companies to come in and break ground where it makes sense to them financially. Um, so I think if that can happen, we'll see a major growth in our economy as well as I hear about our city and our county's budget. And if I personally think if we can figure it out, that will help not only our community, but also financially for our city and our county to bring in that revenue.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fascinating. That's pretty big. Cool. Um, Katie, for folks that want to follow up with you, either engage brokering, consultation, talk about mental health, how do we find you?
Well, it's easy. My phone number is everywhere.
Awesome.
But they are, you can find it on signs or websites, but yeah, I mean, feel free to call me, I'll answer. I try to make myself available, even if it's just one thing I take a lot of pride in is keeping information confidential, and not sharing it with others. So even if it's just a sounding board or a frustration, because, and you've heard me say this before, we do walk a very lonely road and we're very misunderstood. And the common public would not understand the struggles that we face. And so I try to make myself available for those conversations, knowing that it's a safe place to have them and also reassuring it's normal.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I appreciate that so much. And for folks that aren't currently following you, watching what you're doing, I mean, I want to give you appreciation of just seeing some of your recent posts, and it's just raw. You're in front of the camera talking about what it's like to be criticized or some of the struggles in that isolation of ownership. I think it's really real. And so kudos to you just for bringing it forward because you're right. It can get it's so easy for the little mind chatter to feel like, yeah, we're completely isolated, but
Mhm.
um, there, there's so many that we're not alone.
No,
Everybody
and
deals
just
with it.
know we're not. Everybody's feeling those same struggles, those
Yeah.
same highs, those same lows. It's in every industry. And I appreciate that, Matt, because I'm gonna try and do that once a week. Just take a topic and use myself as the example
Yeah.
and go through it. And I do get a lot of phone calls after those videos from people saying, "Hey, I'm right here, right now. Let's talk about it."
Yeah. Yeah. Kudos. Well, Katie, I'm going to find your phone number in some other websites. We'll include all these things into our show notes. And I highly encourage people to reach out to you and engage. And I just so appreciate your authenticity, your drive, and just how you craft. So thank you
Same,
for the
Matt. I
conversation
appreciate
today.
your posts. Yeah, yeah, you're great.
Yeah. Kudos. Well, we'll see you soon and we'll get this show out for the folks. Thank you so much.
All right, thanks, Matt.
Please know that I am incredibly humbled and honored. I can't believe I'm saying this. We have over 2,400 subscribers on our YouTube channel, and we're just growing. It is amazing. And your likes, your subscribes, and your shares have helped us get here. So let's grow this thing together and just know that you are appreciated.